I've spent the majority of my career working with underserved communities and trying to get them access to financial services. Now, I've also had the opportunity while in banking to work alongside of some fantastic people with some of the biggest hearts that are also pouring their all into this effort. They need our help. See, there's a misconception that underserved and underbanked African Americans are in the position they're in simply because they want to be. And that's just not the case. When in actuality, these individuals are in this position because they feel as if they don't have a choice. And that's unfortunate. Now, I do understand that there are individuals that do not want a bank. There are individuals that don't want a bank account, feel as if they don't need bank accounts. The same way I understand there are individuals in this room right now that you will not be able to get to switch over to an iPhone. That's me. I'm those individuals. But that's a TED Talk for a different day. All right, so imagine walking into a bank, sitting down across from an individual and professing what it is that you don't know about banking. I don't know about checking accounts. I don't know about savings accounts. I don't know the difference between an ATM card, a debit card, and a credit card. Now, imagine walking into a community and sitting across from someone that does not look like you and professing those same things. Maybe a little bit easier if the person across from you looks like you, but if I have to leave my community and go tell an individual that doesn't look like me, that may already have some preconceived notions about who I am or what I am, that I don't know about some of the most fundamental things that people are walking in and out of their doors every single day to take care of, imagine doing that. We do not really understand the mistrust of banks that these individuals have. It is not that these individuals don't want accounts. It's that these individuals don't trust the banks. But how do we help them get over that? I work for a financial institution. How can I reach out to these individuals? If they don't want banks, if they don't want bank accounts, then I can't get to them. So how? How can I help you? Oh, I went back. I said I wasn't going to do it. I sat in that seat and said I wasn't going to go. Did it anyways. So not trusting banks. And the challenges that come with that. So if I don't trust a bank, what about the financial services that I'm using? What services am I using? How do I cash my checks? Where do I get my direct deposits from? In this here graph, this is a FDIC survey from 2019 entitled How America Banks. 54% of the individuals that they surveyed said that they don't trust banks. It's not because that they don't want the accounts, it's simply because they don't trust the banks. In the same survey, individuals have said that they do not have the minimum, they cannot meet the minimum deposits for these accounts. Now imagine wanting to have a bank account, understanding that I can go in to an account, I can go into a bank and I can learn everything that I need to know, but being told that there's a minimum balance and I cannot, and I know I cannot meet that minimum balance requirement. So now I want an account. I think I understand an account, but I don't have the money to maintain that account. So what am I supposed to do? I still need to cash checks. I need to pay rent. Where do I go? So then you end up in non-traditional financial services. You end up being in and out of convenience stores, checking the cash places. You end up talking to individuals in the community to get bad information about how you should manage your money. Venmo, Cash App, PayPal are all money transfer services. And these services give you an opportunity to have quick access to cash. But is that the way you want to store your money? Is that how? No, they don't have minimum balance, and yes, you can generate a fake debit card, a virtual debit card. But is that how you want to go around cashing and handling your money? It's an unhealthy way of banking. And it's tearing up our communities. Now imagine being an African American woman who's doing everything that she can. She is meeting the needs of her family. She's working and she's living check to check. She has rent, she has car payment, she has insurance. She understands banking, but she made a mistake. She overdrew her account. And because she's already living from check to check, she does not have the ability to dig out that hole immediately, and that's the key word. See, some individuals can say, oh, overdrew the account, go into the savings account, move whatever money over, life goes on. She's living from check to check. She didn't know that she was overdrawn. A couple of other items hit. You have some daily cash fees that also hit. So now the account is so severely overdrawn that the bank decides it's a risk, and so they close it. And now she's without a financial institution. She's been reported to check systems. And if you're not familiar with what check systems is, it's a clearinghouse essentially. So when you mess up with a financial institution and they report you to check systems, anytime you go to another financial institution, they're going to put your information into check systems to see if you've messed up. And if you show up in check systems, the majority of the time, you will be rejected for that account. So now what do you do? All I did was make a mistake. I know about banking, I know about the minimum balance, I understand the differences between checking account, savings account. I have Cash App and Venmo, they're all connected, but I just made a mistake. And I couldn't dig out the hole fast enough. And now you're telling me I can't open up a bank account anywhere. So what do? Where do you go? Who can help? Now I'm stuck using non-traditional financing, predatory lenders that have high fees, that are taking advantage of what it is and why I am in this position. So I have to go to a grocery store to get a cashier's check, a money order, or I have to go to the convenience store and get the cashier money order. That if I lose that cashier's check or money order, it's untraceable, unreplaceable. See, if you get those services at a financial institution, no problem, Mr. Temple. You come on in, we'll bring the receipt, we can track it, we can replace it. But if I go to the corner store and I open up the door and it was on the car seat and it blows out in the rain and it dissolves, I'm in trouble. Pay bills through MoneyGrams. Took out a payday loan. All of these are predatory in some way, shape, or form. And it prevents individuals from either re-entering or remaining in the mainstream financial services. And as African Americans, with all the trouble that we are already facing dealing with finances, if we get in this circle, we are almost doomed. And no matter if I can figure it out, if I get a better job, a higher paying job, I'm on check system for 5 years. 5 years. So do I want to tell my HR partner at my company that, well, you know, can I get a check because I can't get a checking account at this time? Most companies aren't even cutting checks. Or how do I feel when I tell them you have to put my check on my PayPal account or my Venmo account? So how can we help? What are some resources? And what are some additional ways that we can help underbanked and unbanked African Americans get out of this? Well, let's start with one of the biggest reasons this exists at this moment. Community development corporations, or CDCs, are backbones of our communities. These are trusted institutions that are right in the heart of our community that the residents of those communities trust. They can go to for multiple resources: financial literacy courses, home ownership courses, grants, applying for grants from the city, just to name a few. But the real benefit of CDCs is the fact that they understand the need of the community. They are in communities, they're talking to the residents. They understand that we need to bring the banks in and we need to talk to the banks and explain to the banks that check systems is not good for these individuals. And the bank says, well, you know, this is our policy, this is how it is. And then you come up with a partnership, and then you say, okay, well, if that's it, then can we come up with something special to help this group of people? And then you watch that grow between other financial institutions. But you can't even have that conversations if CDCs don't exist. The financial institutions, the cities and the counties that there's so much money right now flowing through for grant requests and so forth. And you don't even have the ability, if I'm at the city, if I'm at other nonprofits that are doing things to assist that want to assist these individuals, you cannot, because I don't even have a destination to park the money. The city wants to give it, the county wants to give it, the state wants to give it, but where? We have the lack of community development corporations right now. And that's preventing individuals that are in trouble because of missteps, because of not trusting banks. I can't get out of that. We also have to do a better job at uplifting and explaining the values of community development financial institutions in our community, CDFIs. Now, CDFIs are credit unions and banks that are specifically in place to help underbanked and underbanked individuals. And they are right in the middle. Now, the beauty of CDFIs is that not only do they understand the issues, but they are more equipped to be able to provide relief for those issues and align themselves with financial institutions. As I mentioned, I work for a financial institution. My financial institution supports CDFIs. We take loans out at CDFIs. We make deposits into CDFIs. CDFIs are not my competition as a financial institution. They are my partner, the same way a CDC is. I talked about the individual that is in the check in the cash advance payroll situation. To give you an example how a CDFI can help that individual, they offer those payday loans that they can come in and take out so I can get you away from the Acme payroll company that is charging almost 20, 30, 40% interest. So I'll explain real quickly how this works. I'm short on my check. So I'm going to go into this payday advance company. I need $500. I sign a waiver that says in 2 weeks I'm going to pay back $500. But the fee for me using that $500 could be $650, $700, $750. So the next week, I go back to pay back my $500 plus my additional $200. But what does that make me? Short for this week. So what do I have to do? I got to have another loan. So now I took out a loan for the $700, so what am I paying back next time? $800, $900. And it continues and it continues. And then it gets to a point where I can no longer use that company because it's too much. And so I do some type of shenanigans to get out of that to only go to the next company. But a CDFI can say, okay, Reggie, why don't you come over here? Let's sit down. Let's figure out how much you can pay. What is it that you owe them? Come see us. We can work with you and we can get you out of that rut. We can get you a checking account. We can educate you on that. And by the way, we're going to be bringing in this bank or this other financial institution so you can be educated on mortgage loans and other things to be in a better, more healthy banking situation. So let me divert just a little bit. Back when I was in college, I worked for a financial institution and I was in the call center. So I answered the phone. I was an 800 customer service representative. And I worked, in this particular case, it was for credit card company. So I was fortunate enough to be able to learn about the dangers of credit cards from talking to other people about their mistakes. I understood balance transfers and interest rates, and I understood annual fees and the questions to ask. But I was a college student, so I'm walking around campus, and it may not be allowed now, but I was walking around campus and I would see this desk, and I couldn't wait to see these desks because they were giving away t-shirts and backpacks. And I would go over there and I would sign my happy butt up for one of those t-shirts in the backpack because you were in college and t-shirts were life, right? That's what you woke up, you grabbed whatever t-shirt was on the floor, you went to class. That's how you did it. So if I had a clean t-shirt, that was half the battle for the day. All right, so, but as I started working for this company, I'm like, this is not good. I don't need 6 or 7 $500 credit cards in my name. So I stopped getting those credit cards because I understood what it was doing to my future. Instead, I applied for those credit cards under the name, Reginald, and I still got my t-shirt. So I apologize if someone sees this later on YouTube and they're still trying to figure out who the heck Reginald is. But I trust me, I still can no longer fit that t-shirt. But what can we do, all of us in this room? Because you can't give a TED Talk without having an ask and a challenge. So my challenge to you is, what can you offer your community? What can you offer CDC? Or do you have knowledge that you can share with these organizations? Are you part of a group that is looking for volunteer opportunities where you can go in and you can help educate these communities? My talk has been about the impact of African Americans in the unbanked and underbanked space. But if we remove African American and we put any other demographic in there, some of those same challenges apply. But at the same time, CDCs and CDFIs will still help to improve the positions of anybody that walks through their door. I'm already in the fight. My financial institution is already in the fight. Many other financial institutions are in the fight. but we need help reaching those individuals, and we need our community to come in and say, I can help. And if you can't do it right now, the next time that you have an opportunity to help a CDFI by opening an account, a small account, a secondary savings that you need to park somewhere just to forget, that money allows that CDFI to continue. If you can volunteer at a CDC or talk about your profession to the individuals in the community that they're bringing in, that will help that CDC. If you're looking for a nonprofit organization to support via funding, that will help. But if you can't commit to it right now, then the very next time you have the opportunity, I just want you to consider. Because maybe there was something that you heard in this talk today that you didn't know that will make you pause to really, really consider helping going forward. Thank you.